Oh, be just waking up. Waking up with Folgers in your cup. That's the best part of waking up. That was a good song, man. That was a good tune. We used to have good commercials. We used to have good music. We used to have good food. We used to have a good life. What happened? What happened? And I'm talking about we as American people. You know, I mean, I left America. I'm over here in the Philippines, but anyway, anybody home yet? Ryan, what's up, Expat? How you doing? How's it going, man? I heard about Austin, Texas over there. Yeah, I just got through reading about that, the whole Austin, Texas thing. Anyway, yeah, I'm just waking up, having some coffee. I was telling this guy while I was out walking the other day. It's a Filipino guy. He says hey to me every time I'm outside. And he asked, I told him, I don't know, we just started talking. I told him I have like 3 cups of coffee a day. He's like, oh yeah, that's good. He has 4. He said he has 4. Actually, I think I have probably sometimes 4 cups a day. Yeah, 3 or 4 a day. So how you doing today, Brian? Just checking out your profile picture there. It's hard to see, but it looks sort of like how you do about 2 cups. 2 cups a day. Yeah, I think most of the time it's 3, sometimes 4, 3 or 4. Yeah, about some days 3, some days 4. But I've also started getting decaf. Back in the U.S., whenever I was drinking coffee in the U.S., I would have as much coffee as I could, but I would try to do decaf, you know. So I might have like 3 regular and 3 decaf. But the decaf just doesn't taste as good as the regular coffee, to me, anyway. I haven't found any that's that great. So what's the picture on your profile? Is that a desert? I'm trying to, it's hard to see on the phone. It's very small on your profile picture. What's up, Brian? How's it going? Good morning, mate. Let's see. Yeah, you're probably showing up for. Oh no, you're already at work, probably, Brian. The other Brian, Brian 2, Brian 1, 2. Let's see. It's a sand dune and a beach. Oh, okay. Is that Texas? Good, mate. Yeah. Just waking up, drinking coffee, man. Hearing the birds chirping in here. I guess the birds come through this window, I guess, and probably got some in here somewhere. Yep, 2 hours in. So, as far as the difficulty of your job, 1 to 10, you know, how difficult. I'm going to talk about some of my jobs in my past, and I'll give like a 1 to 10 on difficulty. Although work is a relative term, B1. Hey, B1. He calls you B1. Yeah, we'll go with one of my last jobs. Well, I can go with my very last job, which was door-to-door sales. Door-to-door selling internet services. Difficulty. Man. You know, well, it's not neuroscience, so I guess it's not that bad, but I give it about the difficulty of being about almost 9, 8.5, something like that. I mean, the problem was all the adversity you get, all the adversity you get, people slam doors in your face, get the dog to chase me. One time a dog was chasing me. What else happened? One guy threatened me. I've been doing what I do now for 25 years, so second nature now. I did retail. I was a retail manager. And I had been doing it, and basically, doing it for a few years, and basically I was getting bored with it because it was like that, second nature. So I decided I wanted to do something more exciting, something different. And so I left, and I didn't think it would be a hard time finding another job, but there was. So there, you hear this a lot. Don't leave a job until you have another job. I didn't think it would be a hard time because here I was leaving as a manager and being about 30, 40, somewhere in my 30s. Been somewhere in my 30s, and having the experience, having the education and everything, and didn't think it would be a problem. But there was. So I wound up getting back into sales then. I don't really care for sales, but I wound up going into it. But I did make a lot of money doing it, the sales job. There's plenty of money in sales, I'll tell you that, as long as you're good at it. Francis, hey, let's see, Francois Perot, how you doing? And where are you from? Brian, hi, okay, got the hi. Brian says, years ago, I had a friend that bought a Eureka vacuum cleaner. That's funny. My father used to sell Electrolux vacuum cleaners, door to door. Yeah, my father did that door to door, Electrolux. Okay, that guy paid $3,000 for that stupid vacuum cleaner. That's a lot of money, dude. That is a lot of money. Wow. I haven't even seen a vacuum cleaner. It's $3,000. Even my dad's selling them. No, I never seen one for $3,000. I mean, maybe the company sold it, but I don't see him selling a $3,000 vacuum cleaner. Let's see, my friend passed away years ago, owing me roughly $3,000. Did you get the vacuum cleaner? Well, did you get anything, bro? You should, Oh, so hold on. You let him borrow the money for the vacuum cleaner? Oh my gosh. Brian, Australian Brian says, maybe I should call you AB. Australian Brian. AB says, what I like about my job is that it is always interesting in dealing and sorting customer issues is a payoff. Yeah, I don't think I had enough, but I did have some, customer issues. But I don't think I had enough to really say it's like a big payoff for me. I remember having customers come in, they're like wanting something in stock. We didn't have it, like, and then I feel good. I call them up, I say, hey, you know what you're looking for? We have it now. Oh my God, there's a connection issue there. Oh, there's always freaking connection problem. Okay, you're in Canada, Peralta. All right. Maybe I need to change spots. He already had the vacuum cleaner, but he needed money to fix the truck and not go into foreclosure. Yeah, if he would have kept the money for the vacuum cleaner, he wouldn't have needed your money, right? Instead of buying that vacuum cleaner. Dude, 3,000 for a vacuum cleaner. I think we've all made bad decisions in life, though. You know. Yeah, I think that's a bad decision, 3,000 for a vacuum cleaner. But I think we've all made bad decisions. I know I have. You know. Ay, ay, ay. And we've all have made good decisions in life too. Good and bad. Let's see. Today, pretty lame gamer. Hello, hello. Brian said, oh yeah, we already read that part. Okay. So how's Canada there, Francis? How's things in Canada? Are you in the bottom or are you in the cold area? Let's see. Expat. Brian's also known as Expat AB. Expat says, getting married for the first time in my 40s was definitely one of my worst decisions. Well, you waited a long time, because a lot of people get married earlier than that. But I have a couple of my best friends were the same way. They didn't get married until they got into their 40s. Definitely one of your worst decisions. How long did it last for you? What was wrong with her? Yeah, how long did it last and what was wrong with her? It's so funny. There's this lady that I signed up to work for. She was just looking for someone like off the record, not like through where you do a 1099, where you got to take care of your own expenses and your own work time and pay your own taxes and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, that one not long ago that wanted me to do selling over the phone from here, and I said, I can do this if you want. And she's like, cool. Well, anyway, let me see only 4 years, been divorced since 2012. So you've been divorced for a long time, man. Yeah, like 14 years. Just 4 years. Wow. So she had some bad things about her. Let's see, Brian says, I married my wife when I was 40, 22 years now. Okay. Yeah, that's the Filipina. Oh, man, that reminds me. That's really good. Yeah. I think Expat knows you're married to Filipina. And I think she's from Boracay, from what I understand. Now, what was I talking about? I just forgot, man. Ay, ay, ay. We got the fastest ants out here in the Philippines. Yep, in both counts. Yep, Filipina, 22 years, Boracay. Brian says, we have known each other since we were kids because our parents were friends. We dated in high school, then out of high school, but marrying a friend in my case was not a good decision. That's interesting you say that. I know someone who basically did the same thing, but they got married as soon as they got close to about 20 years old. You know, they were friends and, you know, before that time. And a lot of people say marry your friends. So, I'm gonna wonder why you're saying that. But marrying a friend in my case was not a good decision. Was, you know, you think the friendship had something to do with it? That it's not, that made it a bad decision? I think this will be good news for people that are trying to learn, you know, that watch the video, they'll, you know, might watch it later or whatever. And it's interesting because I've never heard like marrying a friend being a bad decision. So it'd be interesting to see what you're going to say about that. And I noticed you did say, in my case. So yeah, I mean, it doesn't mean every single time it's going to be like that, but in your case, yeah. Oh, let me turn the filters off on this chat. If you guys don't have it already, you probably want to go to chat filter and then hit all messages, so all the messages come through. If y'all haven't done it already on the chat. Brian says, I'm a Christian, but she had a drop dead date when Jesus was returning. She had a dropped dead date when Jesus was returning. Let me see. Bro, I think you might be trying to make a joke, but I'm confused. Let's see, bro. It was always something to do about Jesus. I'm a Christian, but she had a drop dead date when Jesus was returning. It was always something to do about Jesus. Are you understanding this, Australian Brian? AB? She had a drop dead date when Jesus was returning. Oh, maybe you're talking about. I thought I was thinking date like trying to be with some guy or something. But I think you're talking about like she was always saying Jesus is coming tomorrow or something like that. Oh, crap. Mr. Pat says, morning, Mike. Just passing through, fella. Stay safe out there, mate. Left a like too. I appreciate you leaving a like, bro. Yeah. I need to, I'm gonna try to start talking more about that kind of stuff too. You know, stuff that give me some benefits, because I usually don't do that. Say double tap or, you know, other things on here, like, you know, other things. But anyway, and I know, I was thinking about that whole membership on the adult thing, but I just want to say, if there's a desire to do some of those meetings that we have, you know, let me know. Anybody who's on that. Yes, a set date. Exactly. Let's see. Brian says kind of difficult to keep the fire going down below. Good morning from Virginia. Hey, Michael, how's it going, man? Good morning to you, or good evening to you, actually, over in Virginia. Am I from England? No, I'm from USA, BC, USA, and I'm staying here in the Philippines. Not a problem, bro. What the heck? Mr. Pat says, not a problem, fella. I'm trying to see. Oh, you're talking about left to light too. Oh, okay, about the light. Let's see. Okay, yeah. Michael is working on having his fiance come over. Is she gonna, hold on, when she finishes what she's doing, then she's gonna fly over there, right? I think in April, if I remember right. Michael. Let's see. Michael says, my fiance passed medical visa interview is next week. Cool. Congratulations, man. I'm glad she passed the medical. I mean, that's probably one of those that, you know, you can't really bend. But the visa one, if you mess up, maybe they'll give you another chance. I don't know. But yeah, I definitely want to get with you guys on creating some kind of content to help other people out, like you were talking about, Michael. East Asian women are attractive. East Asian. Yeah, East and West. I mean, but you know what? That's all. What do they call it? Subject to the person, right? There's some people don't want Asian. Some people don't want African. Some people don't want white. Some people, everybody's different. And I don't think people should be forced into liking everything and all that kind of crap, People should be able to pick and choose what they like and want. That's just my opinion. But anyway, somebody want to fight with me, go ahead. Brian says, okay, one thing that is really, really puzzling to a lot of us Aussies is why religion is so intertwined with Americans. Well, I remember like with our Constitution and everything, that got set up, it was all about, and God, like in our dollars, and God we trust. Of course, dollars came out, I don't know when dollars started, the dollar bill. But, we have, what's that in our Constitution? I can't remember. It's something about God or religion. Actually, I think there's you got freedom of religion, so that's sort of different, But let me catch up on the messages and try to stay on track with what you're saying. Yes, she comes to USA. Okay, within 90 days. Okay. Oh yeah, we get married within 90 days. Yeah, like the 90-day fiance. I don't know if you ever watched that TV show. I used to watch it because I thought it was entertaining. I didn't know it would ever pertain to me, because I might wind up doing the same thing one day. This whole 90-day fiance thing. K1 visa. Let's see. Brian says it seems to come up in just about every conversation on the religion thing. It's like trolls, man. You got trolls for everything. You got trolls for pushing. I'm sorry, I said pushing. Pushing different agendas. And there's strong beliefs with that kind of stuff. Strong belief in. You got your extreme Democrat, your extreme Republican, you got your extreme whatever. And so they go crazy, man. I mean, it's insane. It amazes me, and maybe I should if I really wanted to benefit from YouTube, maybe I should do some kind of stream thing, because there's so many of those people that go in that extreme level. There's hardly any people like us, just, like normal kind of people. There are so many extreme people. Vibrational Light says, good and prosper day to you and your family. Thank you. I appreciate that. You as well, my friend. Good to see you again. Brian says, Aussie Brian, Australian Brian says, I am not having to go, just curious. Yeah, I'm trying to come up with something, Brian. Let's see, BC, maybe somebody else will, so I won't have to. BC says, wokeness hasn't infected Asia yet, so that's a plus. Yeah, it hasn't, but yet. Yeah, that's the point, the yet part. And, I think it has some. I think it has a little bit. I think it has a little bit. And I'm going to move that little bit up to here, and the biggest problem is, I have to say it, I don't want to say it, but Philippines, because they speak English. So, and they always want to learn more English, want to get better with their English. And they're very big fans of America, but, they got to realize America's a lot different now than it was 20, 30, 40 years ago. This is not my America that we're living in nowadays, but they're looking at that crap on social media, and they're, watching the different stuff over there. So that stuff gets in the head, So yeah, but it's not that bad. But it needs to be controlled. Michael says, North America, USA specifically, was partially colonized for religious purposes. That's true, yeah. Yeah. Brian says, I'm not religious, I'm a believer. That's a good point, man. I'm the same way. Yeah, I'm the same way. But I don't participate. The X was over the top. Women tend to be like that, man. They're so emotional, emotionally driven. For the most part, I have to not put everybody in one box, because they don't want me to. This company that we're on, Anyway, Brian says, I'm not. Let's see. Okay, Australian Brian says, a lot of founding fathers were atheists. Yeah, it was both. It was both. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. B1. Yeah, you have people that left England because they didn't want to be involved with the whole religion thing. They didn't want to be hurt or whatever. But you also have people leave because they wanted to practice their kind of religion. And, anyway, I'm not a big history buff. I know we have some that are in here. So, yes, it certainly seems like that. So maybe I should just read a lot. Yes, it certainly seems like that, Mike. Always extreme, yeah. Let's see, Raffer guy, Michael, he says, Brian, not accurate. Most U.S. founding fathers were not atheists. Yeah, I don't think those were. But, I mean, as far as this escaping tyranny from religion stuff did happen from history anyway, but rather held a mix of Christian beliefs and deism. Yeah, I remember that term back in college. Deism, or deism, whatever it is. A rationalist belief in a creator who does not intervene in life. And then Expat says, I don't get in religious or political conversations. I was just bringing up why we're compatible. Why we weren't compatible. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Why we weren't compatible. All right, gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. It makes sense, man. Tetspat says gotta run. Maybe back later. Adios for now. All right, Brian. Tetspat, take care. BC says, what is life like in the Philippines? Is there much poverty? Anything else that is noticeable from Western countries? Noticeable from Western countries? Oh, okay, that are similar to Western countries, I think is what you're saying. The beauty. You have beauty over in like USA. You have what I call it, Colorado and all the beaches and everything. Same thing over here. Well, Hawaii. To me, it seems like, and anybody that's been to Hawaii and they've been to Philippines. Anybody in here been to both Hawaii and Philippines? Because I think that Philippines would be so similar to Hawaii, but probably like 90% cheaper than Hawaii. That's an interesting question. I should find that out. It's like 70% cheaper than the US. But as far as Hawaii, I'm going to say 90% cheaper than Hawaii, 80% cheaper. I don't know. I'm sure it's higher than 70% because Hawaii is expensive. But yeah, that would be interesting to find out. But overall, US, yeah, 70% cheaper than the US, and I think it'll be similar to Hawaii. Is there much poverty? Yes, there's a lot of poverty here. Also in the US, there's a lot of poverty as well. You think what else? The infrastructure. The infrastructure's can be pretty rough out here. There's a lot of roads that aren't that great, but there is a lot that are great. So you're going to have like half and half maybe on the roads, and also as far as cell signal and electricity and stuff like that, it's not going to be perfect. So I think that's like the worst stuff as far as just a country. As far as safety and everything, it feels pretty safe out here. I mean, I think the numbers are probably similar to US as far as safety goes, but you can double check me on that. But anyway, we do have plenty of, since you asked about similarity to Western countries, we have plenty of American restaurants here. Burger King, Wendy's, Texas Roadhouse, TGIF. They might have an Applebee's. I don't know. I think Applebee's might be out of business. I don't know about them guys. I don't think they're doing too good. Anyway, and they love basketball here. Absolutely love it. So they'll be watching NBA all the time and when they can. And they're pretty chill, relaxed people. Okay, I'm going to try to maybe include more things later, but let me catch up with the chat. Let's see, Brian from Australia says, yes, no worries, Brian. That wasn't the trigger for the question. I have just seen many lives where religion comes up, like waving a flag. Yeah, once again, I think it's trolls. And the thing about it is, it could be opposite type trolls that try to make one type look bad. I don't know. I'm not saying it's that, but it might be. I don't trust anything that comes into a screen if I can't actually see the person and know the person. People send in stuff. I mean, I'm getting with you guys, we're becoming like friends and everything. But these people that just pop in, and I barely know them or anything, that's a different story. Let's see. Brian says, here religion and politics are not usually discussed in casual conversation. They are seen as private. I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like a lot of Americans think they know it all. And I'm gonna take some, what do you call it, slack for that, or whatever you call it. Anyway, Michael says the biggest difference I saw was community. Philippines' sense of community is much stronger. Yes, if we're talking about difference, family and community is very strong. Matter of fact, you just reminded me of something I need to take care of. Let's see. Anyway, that's later. Plenty of poverty though, but poverty is relative. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing about that. You know, debt of Americans average $60,000. Okay, you drive a new car, you live in a decent apartment, but you got $60,000 worth of debt, compared to somebody who, say, lives in an apartment they pay $100 for. And I'm just giving some example. I mean, a lot of foreigners won't want to live in a $100 apartment, but some do. A lot of them do. Actually, a lot do and a lot don't. But anyway, say a Filipino over here that's living in a $100 apartment only has the average $600 debt, and they barely have to pay anything for transportation. Let's say maybe they have a motorcycle that they bought for $1,000 or $2,000, something like that. I think now I've seen them for about $1,000. The motorcycles at a dealership. It's like probably the cheapest one. So, Scotty says most poor Filipinos don't consider themselves poor. Yeah, and I don't either, to be honest with you. I mean, yeah, what's the main thing that's important to me, I think, is happiness. And if you have happiness, then you're not poor. But, I think I see so many of these people that barely have to work and they can, enjoy their time. It's crazy. I mean, we have a beach close to us. They barely have to work. They can go over there and hang out at the beach. Because, why? Because the family comes together and, like, okay, somebody here where I'm at right now, this isn't my place, but the person here, what they do is they keep the place clean. One of the young ladies here, she's a sister of Eve. She's sleeping right now, so I'm trying not to be too loud, but anyway, she keeps the place clean, and her and somebody in the family pays her for doing that. So it's always family helping each other. Maybe they're paying the other person to do something, or maybe they're all living together, or there's just a huge family bond in jail here in the Philippines. Okay. Raffer guy says some need 100,000 in the bank, some just need 100 kilo of rice. You talking about Filipinos? I think you are, because basically, yeah, you've got some that are super wealthy over here. You got some very wealthy people that might want a lot of money, and then the other ones take the rice. That's a lot of rice. They eat a lot of rice. Yeah, they eat a lot of rice over here, man. Imagine if you're living in a home and you have, say, 10 people in that home, and you eat rice 3 times a day. So, Vibrational Light says the richest thing is your health. Exactly, I believe that too. What's money when you're dying of cancer? Exactly. Heard one person say that a rich man always wants a lot of things, where a sick man, or a greedy man, I think, greedy man always wants a lot of things, where a sick man only wants one thing, and that's to live, It went something like that. Gerald, hold on, is this
Is this it says Gerald. Is this Gerald from Bantangus? Is this Bantangus, Gerald? Good morning, Mikey. Hey, how's it going, man? Waiting to find out. I can't hardly see the picture, so. Okay. Yeah, I thought it was. I thought it was you, man. I haven't seen you in a long time. How's it going? How you been doing? Yeah, Gerald here. He's a Filipino here in Batangas. I used to see him like all the time in my lives, man. Yeah, I miss watching you. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, I miss you coming in, man. Yeah, the game time. He was part of the game time stuff. So how's it going, man? Where you been? What's up? What's new? Anyway, while he's talking and everything, trying to go back to all these topics you guys have been talking about as far as the religion factor over in the U.S. Yeah, I hate to say that, man, but I even want to do a video about it, but I think it's going to hurt me, though, if I say it, about Americans are annoying. And it's like annoying because they think they know it all, you know? I see that over here. These American vloggers come over here and they think they know it all, you know? But thanks, Gerald. Thanks for the sentiments. Sentiments, yeah. Man, all of a sudden it's starting to get a heat wave going on here. It's been pretty nice. Gotta finish this coffee so I can do a little walk around here. Show you all the nature today. There are plenty of videos like that already. Plenty of videos like that already. All about Americans are annoying? Really? That they're annoying because they think they know it all? I haven't seen any, but I mean, it wouldn't surprise me because I think there's plenty of videos of everything nowadays. I mean, how many videos do we have out there, you know? If I had to guess, maybe 1 trillion. There's so many videos of stuff. Let's see, Vibrational Light says, I'm a spiritual person, not a religious person. Yeah, I know Brian was in here earlier talking about not religious. I mean, yeah, I mean, he's just a believer. He's not pushing things on people, that kind of stuff, you know. He's a believer. And that's the same way here in the Philippines. The people here are believers. They don't go around pushing Bible on everybody that I've seen. Gerald can tell me different, but I've seen, you know, I've spent a lot of time around people and I haven't seen any of that kind of issue going on here. Yeah, bucket loads. The majority are by Americans too. Oh, really? Wow. That's a surprise. I'm scared that I would lose a lot of my viewers if I did it, but I want to do it because, you know, most of my viewers are Americans, and you know, so I'd be saying you guys are annoying. Yeah. Let's see. But I think I think they need to know it. I think they get on my freaking nerves, man. When they come into the chat and everything, they get on my freaking nerves. I mean, not chat, but the chat, the comments. Yeah, when they come into my comment on my videos, and they're like, I know this, I'm smart, blah, 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 and all this crap. I'm like, whatever, dude. Let's see. Summertime is coming. Hot weather is waving. Oh, yeah. We're starting to have some weather change. Brian says the majority are by Americans too. And I don't think I missed anything there. Brian says, yes, I think that too. Religion is almost never mentioned around me. Yeah. I mean, if I go back home and I hang out around family, some of my family back home, yeah, they're going to bug me. They're going to be like, I hope you've been reading your Bible. I will talk like them Southern accent. I hope you've been reading your Bible. And, I don't know. I can't think of everything right now, but it's just been so strongly pushed. Maybe part of it's because of all the drama, all the crap that they go through in the U.S. Maybe that's part of it, with all the negative things. And then they're like, in order for us to survive these negative things that are happening in our lives, then we need to dig deeper for God, Maybe that's part of it. I'm trying to figure it out myself. I mean, why are they so strongly pushing that stuff, Because they're not getting paid for it, so that wouldn't make any sense. Sort of reminds me of extreme Islam, any kind of extreme crap, Yes, I think that too. Let's see. I made the mistake in 2024 by complimenting a young guy in Baraka about his hat, "Make America Healthy Again," which I thought was a better message than the red hat. Well, you made a mistake by complimenting it? What's wrong with that? "Make America Healthy Again," which I thought was a better message than the red hat. I then had him tell me about COVID, vaccinations, etc. Oh, he started talking about that for 30 minutes. Wow. I mean, I went through the COVID vaccination experience that put me in the hospital. So I would say I would probably side with this guy, The doctor told me not to get the second one because, I almost passed away, and it really bothers me, that whole vaccine stuff. And, I'm still having issues from it. It made my blood pressure go from normal and made it go crazy. They put me on a bunch of medicines after that vaccine. I'm trying to remember how many, 1, 2, 3, 4, something like that. I think it was 4 different medicines I had to be on. And I winded up in the emergency room. But anyway, that's not what my channel's about. It's not talking about the whole COVID vaccine stuff and all that mess. Let's see, but this is the thing, we couldn't talk about this before, They were silencing, the government had them silencing this stuff where we couldn't even talk about it. If you could have talked about it, then I probably wouldn't even took it, because I waited a long time before I decided to take it to see if there was going to be problems. But anyway, let's get back to the thing here. Brian says, and he was telling me how Australia was jailing people for posting on Facebook. Scotty said, screw those vaccines, never had them, never will. Yeah, I don't blame you. The only thing is, some people had to take them in order to stay in the military and stay working in the government, stay in school at college, some of the jobs that people had, So some people were pretty much forced to take the stuff. I was in college at the time. I was at home, and they told me I had to get the vaccine while I was doing college from home, like online college. So I'm like, what the heck are you talking about? I got to take a vaccine. I don't even leave the house, bro. I'm not at your university. I'm at home. It was so stupid. Let's see. Brian says, full of vats, so no issues. Well, there's a lot of stories like that, there's a lot of stories like that. Not in Australia. I told them to stop watching Fox News. Scotty said they got me with the anthrax vaccine after 911. Yeah, I don't know about that one, bro. Yeah, I guess I never took that one. 911 anthrax. I don't even remember hearing about it. Brian Expat says, I got 4 jabs during COVID and they spiked my tinnitus. Major how do you say it? Tinnitus worse. Yeah, I mean, I hear a lot of stories like this, you know. Here in the Philippines, it was pushed even stronger on people. It's like everybody had to have it, no matter what. So my girlfriend, she said, yeah, she had some issues. She had like hair coming out. She passed out several times walking. And here's the thing, I asked my mom before I did that vaccine, and I waited a long time. And I asked my mom, I said, Mom, are you having any issues from these vaccines you've been taking? Because I think she was on like number 2 by then, maybe even 3, I don't know, the second or third. And she was like, no. Yeah, I think it was the second one. I think she had taken. And she's like, no, everything's fine. And so I took it. And then after I took it, here I go. I wind up in the hospital. And I said, and then she finally tells me, actually, I did have some problems. I was pretty sick. You know, like, I can't remember everything that she said, but it was like, I was sick with different things, right? I'm like, oh, you're going to tell me that now? After I took it? And she said, yeah, well, I needed to, because if you don't take it, Michael, they're going to come to your house and put it in you. You know, they're going to force it on you. I'm like, okay, whatever. Anyway. Brian says, I got 4 jabs during COVID and they spiked my tinnitus. Sorry to hear about that, Brian. I mean, well, I hate that saying, sorry to hear about that. Sorry you had to go through that. Yeah, there you go. And yeah. Let's see. Yeah, Brian, geez, that's weird, hey? All Aussies did. Yeah, I saw y'all's news, man. It was like crazy over there too. Brian says, so bad, ringing off the charts. Is it still like that? You still having the problem? Or is it slowed down? Has it improved any? I'm gonna tell you what I did. I actually did a detox. There is a detox. I can't remember the guy's name, some doctor created. And I went out and bought all that stuff. You know, you buy it at like a nature place, right? Different things. And I took it, I think it was like 30 days, if I remember correctly. 30 or 60 days. I think it was at least 30, and I think I extended it a little bit longer. Anyway, we were lined up in huge queues. Yeah, well, Brian says, I have severe insomnia because of it. I'm laughing because I'm trying not to do what Brian said that guy did, you know, raving to him about the whole COVID stuff and all that. But whenever you have to deal with these huge medical issues like Brian has and I had, my heart was going like super fast. I thought I was going to die. I thought I was having a heart attack. I went to a cardiologist. They said my arteries were totally clean, so there was no sign of any kind of heart disease or heart attack or anything like that. And I went to some other crap I can't think of right now off the bat. Yeah, I had to go through a lot of mess, man. A lot of medical bills too. Scotty says it was great tool to test how to control population. Yeah, tell me about it. I'm not going to go into detail about what I believe about the whole situation because I don't know. Y'all, I don't know. For one thing, I can't talk freely on here. We're still controlled on what we say here, right? I can't say anything I want to on my channel. Y'all can say more than me, because y'all don't have to worry about losing the channel unless you don't have a channel, unless you have a channel, I guess. Let's see. Okay, side effects. I am lucky my system tends to be pretty robust. But I will bring up this. Over in the U.S., there's this girl named Maddie. Hold on, Maddie. Yeah, I think it was Maddie or Maggie. It's funny I say Maddie because I know the Australian girl that comes in here, her name's Maddie. It's either Maddie or Maggie. I think it's Maddie, Maddie. Anyway, she went through some tests before they released the COVID. And anyway, she's been suffering a lot. But they didn't tell anybody about what happened really in the test. Anyway, you want to look her up on YouTube, you can. I think it's Maddie, Maddie. The governments were in a danged if you don't situation. Expat says, I've had it since I was a teenager because listening to loud music, then work-related and loud equipment, but the jabs made it another level. Sort of like they talk about the turbo cancer too, Anyway, Expat said, what's crazy is we don't even have to carry our COVID vaccination cards. Ours are online B1. Hold on, what's online B1? Are you talking about, what does that mean? Like you got an inner passport. So you show that COVID stuff through your passports and whatever a B1 is. I don't know what a B1 is. Well, here's a big thing, man. Joe Biden said, you guys got to get that vaccine. If you don't, you're gonna wind up not living, unaliving is what we're supposed to say, right? And he was full of it. Vaccination records. All B1 is vaccination records. Okay. And in our passports. Well, when I came over, I had to go through something that the normal people didn't have to go through, I had to go to Cebu and what do you call it? I can't think of the name. My brain's not working. All Link B1 is Brian from Texas. Oh, okay. Ours is online B1. Okay, gotcha. But anyway, yeah, you couldn't go to Manila at the time unless you had both vaccinations. Because that's where I wanted to go. I was going to either go to Angeles City or Manila because she was in Angeles City at the time, that girl was. Let's see, Brian Expat says, when I got jabbed, Walgreens just wrote it on a card. Don't know if they entered it into a database. Yeah, they were supposed to. That's all I know. But then you had some of those vials up in Japan that were contaminated and people were unalived by the COVID vaccine because of the contamination. of the contamination in the vials. This was in Japan. You know, that's one of many stories that I could talk about. Let's see. Brian says, okay, we have all our medical history online. You can opt out if you want. Yeah, it makes sense because of the HIPAA law. You should be able to opt out. Y'all know about that in Australia? HIPAA law? I know that's a law in the U.S. I don't know if it's the same thing over there, which is a protection for like your medical information. That's what we call it, HIPAA. Y'all probably got something, but maybe y'all don't call it HIPAA. Let's see. I'll link to our Medicare card. Sorry. Oh man, that's good. Okay, let's just see. Let's see if we can get a vote. I'll see if I can put it on here. Let's see. Done. Okay, there we go. We're going to do this survey. See what people, I got a survey to see what most people think. Oh, hold on, good or bad? Maybe I should change that. I just noticed that. That doesn't make any sense. Vaccine's good. Let me change it. There we go. Mostly good. Okay, there we go. We'll do it that way. I should probably put it out to Cove. We'll do it that way. Cove vaccines. Mostly good. And answer. There we go. That. Okay, then. Why is it not? That's not the poll. I'm trying to do the poll. Oh, there it is. Give me 1 second, guys. Almost finished. Almost finished here. Let's see. There we go. Okay. Now we got it set up. Okay, let's see what the room has to say about this. Are they mostly good? Yes or no? And I'll catch up with the chat here. Brian, Texas says, when I got jabbed, Walgreens. Okay, I read that. And read that, and read that. And I'll link to our Medicare card. Yes, all of ours is covered by law. Because if you're an Australian citizen or resident, you get universal health care coverage anywhere in Australia. I got a question about that because I'm gonna bring up the Philippines. You know, we have a universal health care too. The way it is in the Philippines, they do not recommend going to a lot of the public ones, public hospitals. They recommend going to
and I'm talking about locals here, locals recommend very much to go to the private hospitals because you get better care, a lot better care from what they're telling me, the ones that I've talked to. And in order to do those private hospitals, you don't get the free health care, like you would with the public hospital. So they don't want to go to a public hospital. That's what I'm getting at. So how are those public hospitals in Australia? Since it's such a more updated country, maybe they're a lot better than it is here. That's what I'm getting at. See what you say, Brian. Okay, Gerald says, if you are healthy living and you believe you have strong immune system, so why do vaccine? That's why I disagree with COVID. Exactly, man. I don't think, they were trying to push those little kids in grade school. Did y'all have to do that here, Gerald? The kids in grade school, did they have to get the COVID vaccine? Because I know they were pushing that over in the U.S. I don't know how many did it over there. But I thought that was re-hearted. I'm not going to say the word. Oh, looks like we got a foreign guy out here. Let's see if, yeah, there's a foreign dude out here in the street. Very, very hardly ever see that. Yeah, there. I don't know if you guys can see him or not. Yeah, like you can barely see him there. Yeah, he's about to cross the street there as the girl with the motorcycle rides by. Okay, let me get back to the chat, and I'm gonna go sit down so I don't lose signal over here. Yeah, I agree with you, Gerald. Vibrational Light says, I've never been vaccinated and never been sick. And let's see, Brian says, therein lie the rub. Unless there is an expert in medicine and vaccines in the chat, it is all opinion. Put in this way, who would you have trusted if we didn't have Facebook during COVID? It's, for one thing, I'm going to say this. We got 5 votes and it's 40-60. And I'm going to say that I'm glad to see that we have a mix of people in here because I'm an independent, I don't really go extreme one way or the other. So I'm glad to see that we have a collaboration of different types of people in the chat, basically. Even though I highly am against that COVID vaccination being mandatory the way they did it anyway. They didn't do it. They did not do it right. That's all I'm saying. They didn't do it right. Of course, we want to protect each other and all that kind of stuff, but anyway, that's just my opinion. Okay. So you were saying, therein lied the rub, unless there is an expert in medicine and vaccines in the chat, it is all opinion. Put it this way, who would you have trusted if we didn't have Facebook during COVID? Well, that was the problem. Facebook was blocking anybody that was against the vaccine. You can look this up. Yeah, the companies like Facebook, YouTube, those places, they even came out and said it. They said that they were told that they could not put any bad information about the vaccine, and you would even see that in whenever you posted stuff. Andy on McTan says, I got a cough every year and dribbly nose. Hi, Mike.
newbie here on your channel. What's up, Andy? On McTan. Sounds like you're, when you say McTan, I know the airport. That's where I came into over at Cebu. Hey, good to meet you, Andy. And where are you from, man? Are you from, because I can barely see your picture on my phone. You from US or you're Filipino or what? See, public are fantastic, and I have experience in the public system. Yeah, I figured Australia was going to be a lot different than the Philippines. Let's see, Gerald says, Andy Omitan, are you an expat living in Cebu? Vibrational Light says, mostly all my friends that get a flu shot still end up getting the flu. Exactly. Make that make sense. Andy says, it's Lapu-Lapu. Yeah, Lapu-Lapu at the Mactan Airport. Yeah, it's not technically, I guess technically that wouldn't be called Cebu, but it's right beside of it. Yeah. Let's see, Brian says, what gets lost in this particular conversation is that in Australia, every vaccine since smallpox has been mandatory. Well, the big problem with this one is that a lot of the vaccines took forever to make. This one was rushed. So how was the quality of this one compared to those? Gerald says, I think Andy is German or Australian. I don't know, maybe you you must be looking at the picture. I can't look at the picture very good, but let's see. Brian says, as was social distancing, mask, and closed borders during the Spanish flu epidemic. Yeah, I mean, I agree with social distance and you know, some of that stuff, you know, maybe closed borders, and you know, I mean, even the mask might be a good thing too, or sanitizing, all that kind of stuff, you know, might be, you know. Some people say it is, some people say it's not. I tend to believe that it would be a good thing to wear a mask. Sometimes when I'm in Manila and there's so much pollution there, and you know, people might be sick around me or whatever, I think putting on a mask is a good idea. I don't normally do it very often. I do think the sun is a great way to kill like germs and stuff like that. But you know, I really wasn't planning on talking about all this. Really wasn't. But anyway. We did 6 votes, and right now, most of the people say no on the COVID vaccine being mostly good. Doesn't mean it wasn't some good to it, but if it was mostly good, most people are saying no so far. Okay, Expat says social distancing was easy for me, Brian. Yeah, I know, bro. Yeah, when you're out there in the U.S. and you're not got that family, I mean, that's the difference than here, right? In the Philippines, you have a house with 10 people in it, so it sort of makes sense that they want that protection. You know, they want to figure out something to stop things. It sort of makes sense, but I definitely don't agree with it, and I don't think Gerald agreed with it either. I think a lot of Filipinos didn't agree with it, you know, being forced to do it. And I have heard a lot of them out in some of these province areas that faked it, you know, that they got a fake card and acted like they got it. I had heard of that. Let's see. Brian says, another really big misconception was that the masks were to protect others from you coughing or sneezing to spread the virus. They were not to protect you in the main.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of like if somebody threw water. Hold on, let me get this right. Protect others from you coughing. Yeah, if somebody threw water on my shirt, maybe my skin wouldn't get wet, or maybe it will. It depends. I guess if it was a jacket, then it probably wouldn't get wet. But actually, if it's a thin shirt, yeah, it's going to get wet. So my skin, that's what I'm talking about. Anyway, ay, ay, ay. So here's some views we got today, and it's an absolutely beautiful day, and it's not really even hot, to be honest with you. We got some clouds up there. If those clouds were in the way, then yeah, it probably would be hot. But since we got the clouds out, it's not that bad. I heard that it's going to get about 29 Celsius later on today, though, which is about 80, I think it's 84 degrees Fahrenheit, I believe. So not, in my opinion, it's not too bad, especially when you're over here a long time and you sort of get used. You get used to the temperature and the weather. Now, I remember when I first came over, though, I did feel very hot when I first came over. But my body has really adjusted to the weather over here. Gerald says, Andy, I'm supposed to say that too, that you are British. Let's see. Is Andy still here? I haven't seen him. Vibrational Light says, the weather looks phenomenal. It is. This is pretty awesome weather. I mean, right now it feels like Fahrenheit. It feels like about 79 degrees. We got that breeze. You see the breeze flying in. We got the clouds up in the sky. So that's what it feels like. I don't know what the actual temperature is right now, but it feels like about 78 or 79 degrees. We'll do some zooming around. Oh man, and the rate just went up. It just popped on my screen. The conversion rate went higher, so you get more pesos for the dollar. That's. Let me go back. I'm missing some stuff here. AB, Australian Brian says, I worded that poorly. The masks were to try to prevent the spread, not as a personal shield. Oh yeah, preventing. Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of Asians are big on masks, I noticed, especially over in Korea. I used to see tons of Koreans wearing masks. Not so much here in the Philippines, not like Korea, but Korea is huge. Probably China too, most likely. And I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing to wear a mask. I'm not going to go into the freedom enforcing kind of stuff, but as far as is it a good thing to wear a mask or not, I think it's probably a good thing to wear it, but I'm not going to talk about the forcing, that kind of thing. I just don't really want to get into the political part of it. Let's see, that was jacked up. My ex couldn't see her dad. Your ex couldn't see her dad. My Philippines before he passed of COVID. Yeah, that is bad, bro. That's really bad. I only know one person. How many people do y'all know that passed away from COVID? Or, that it was an old person, I mean, but I think the COVID was a contributing factor.
I mean, they were in a rest home. And it was an old guy. And they said it was COVID. So let's see. B2 says B1, yeah, it sucked, but mainly because her mother was in Philippines and there was no international travel. Was he close? Very close to my Philippines. Awesome, man. Vibrational Light says, man, I can't wait to be in the Philippines in May. Hopefully it isn't canceled due to the war that's going right now. Yeah, what were you? Hold on. Vibrational Light. I mean, I think you're somewhere in the USA. Did you say what state you're from? If you said the state, I just don't remember. Vibrational Light. Or maybe it's Australia. Let's see. Or location close. Oh, Chicago. Okay. Chicago. I try to remember that. Brian says, or location close. Yes, that's true. I think Vibrational Light. Do you mind saying your name? If you want, because it'd be easier for me to say your name or make up a name. Anyway, I think you'd be okay if you want to do a Philippines Airlines, because they have a one-way on that one. But I mean, yeah, there could be travel in that area, so maybe not. But I think it would be okay from the California side. John, okay, thank you. Hey, Carrie, what's up? Beautiful Carrie is in the house. Since she calls us beautiful people, I'll call her Beautiful Carrie. How you doing? But John, yeah, you've got Philippines Airlines does a one stop, yeah, is what I meant to say. I think I said one way, but only one plane you take. And they do it from New York and they do it from California. I think New York might be a problem, maybe because it's going through those areas of this whole thing. But I think California, you'd be okay, because California goes the other direction over through like Hawaii, that way, goes west. So I think you're going to be fine, as long as you're, if you have to, go down to California and then go from California on Philippines Airline to Manila. I don't know if they go to the other places. You have to check. They might go to Cebu, maybe, or Davao City, maybe. But I want to say it's California to Los Angeles to Manila, if you had to do it. Your flight's going from Chicago to Seattle to Manila. Oh, have you already bought the ticket? Sorry, I think you did say something about coming in April, and you probably already bought the ticket. Gotcha. But if they cancel it, I hope they give you the money back. And if they do, then that could be an option for you. Go from California. I think you'll be okay, because you're coming from the west side. So is there a stop from Seattle, or it's got to be a stop, right? Who are you using? What company, and where are they stopping? Let's see. Carrie's smoking a blunt, so I'm doing great. That's awesome. Can't say, I do blunts and stuff. Can't say I never did anything. I'm not gonna say that either. But I think people should be happy. So that's the main thing. Whatever makes you happy, and you're not hurting anybody. You know what I mean? You're not going around hurting anybody. It's different if you're being happy by hurting people. Then I would say don't do that. But anyway, Astro says never have and never will take that poison. There we go. Awesome, bro. What's up, Astros? My favorite baseball team, by the way. Nolan Ryan. You know him? Houston Astros, Nolan Ryan. He was my favorite player. I got a bunch of his baseball cards. Okay. Seattle, they got Philippines Airline from there. Is it stopping anywhere or is it a straight shot? I would think they might stop in Hawaii. You know, maybe stop over in Hawaii and then go over to Philippines. But I don't know. Maybe there's a straight shot from Seattle without any stopping. I see you said yes. I'm sorry. Straight from Seattle. Oh, cool. Cool. Okay. Then, yeah, I think you're going to be fine, man. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be a problem with that. I mean, I think it's highly unlikely that there will be a problem with that. I mean, you think about what Iran has attacked, the areas. They're all within a certain distance. I guess, you know, they can't go but so far. If they could, they probably would have here too, right? But we're so far away from them. Same thing with USA. USA is so far away from them. I mean, that's my thought about it. Now, maybe somebody in here is so intelligent they know something smarter than me and they want to speak up. I'd love to hear it. But, you know, I always wonder, why is USA not, because they're so far away. Yeah, cross your fingers. Yeah, I got you, bro. But I think you're fine, man. I'd put like 96% chance you won't have any issues. Of course, you know, things do change. We know that. Scotty said, and I hope you make it, bro. I hope you do. I would not really, I'm going to be honest, I don't think I'd want to live in Chicago. It's so freaking cold up there. But I haven't been, hold on, I've only been to the airport. So I haven't really stayed there very much. But I'd be surprised if I would like Chicago. I'm just guessing that I would not. But I could be wrong. I could freaking stay there for a while and love the place. Scotty says you have a better chance of halfway to Manila than the war canceling it. Well, we don't want to hear that, bro. Anyway, yeah, I mean, okay, since we're going to bring that up, Scotty, how many flights are in the air every single day? Because I don't want my guy to be scared now. Every single day, how many flights are in the air? Anybody know? I don't have my laptop. I can't look it up. And how often is there a chance of that happening? I think it's going to be so slim, minuscule. Let's see. Was great at one time, Scotty. Scotty, are you from Chicago too? Where are you at? Michael Rafferguy, who's a very smart guy. This guy, yeah, he's very smart. He says there are approximately 100,000 to over 115,000 flights a day worldwide. There you go. So let's say one of these issues happens a whole year, then that would be, let's say 100,000 times 365, or we'll say 400. So what is that? That's 400,000, 4 million, 40 million, I think it is. So about 40 million flights, and let's say it happens one time a year, 1 out of 40 million of a chance. And I don't even think it happens once a year, but we went one time a year. That's what I went with anyway. Anyway, yeah, Michael checked it out, I think. John. Scotty says, I grew up there 1 hour south of the city. Radford guy says, plane extremely rare, with data indicating that approximately commercial flights are involved in an accident. Yeah, that's crazy low. That is crazy low. But anyway, even though I know this, I still hate flying. I mean, I'm scared to death when I get in a plane. And I've been in probably 10 planes, and every single time I'm scared to death. And I think it gets worse every time I get in one, to be honest with you. Every time I say, I'm not going to get in a plane again, and then I do. Let's see. Scotty says that most crashes are normally pilot error. Vibrational launch says it's all good. I don't fear. Yeah, I don't really think about it much either, but I tell you, man, it weirds me out. Especially this one plane I took from, was it North Carolina to New York, I think it was. And it was so small, you know, such a small plane. I felt like I was just on a piece of paper. I was like, am I going to fall through this thing? It just felt so light. Anyway, enjoy the ride. If it's the last. Scotty's a trip, man. How old are you, Scotty? Carrie says the quickest way to hurt the U.S. would be cut off trade from us. We don't make anything anymore, and we're too lazy to farm and pick the veggies. Yeah, that would be a big way too. I agree with you, Carrie. That would be, you know. And then there's the most dire way that I'm not gonna bring up. Vibrational light says the only thing I don't like is the 14-hour flight. And guys, remember, I do have super chat now. I have super chat, super thanks, all that kind of stuff. I think I should bring that up. Let's see. The only thing I don't like is the 14-hour flight. Yeah, I mean, just go to sleep, man. Go to sleep, relax. Scotty says, goes by quick. Great movies to watch. They always feeding you. Yeah, they normally tend to have some good movies and everything. 52. Oh, okay. So we're about the same age. Michael says last flight was from Cebu to DC. Felt like I was being shaken with turbulence, like a new pack of cigarettes. Yeah, I got some of that too. Usually, any long flight winds up getting turbulence. I tell you. Yeah, it's a scary feeling to me. But when you went from Cebu to DC, where did you stop at? I've done a one stop at Singapore one time, and I was going to do another flight that stopped in Qatar, but I wound up canceling that flight. Cebu to DC, 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 DC. Yeah, you probably went to Dulles International Airport. You know, I sort of miss DC, man. I used to live up in DC, and I enjoyed it up there. Going around Arlington and Alexandria and all those places. But it's changed a lot, though. I notice you got a lot of new roads up there, and it seems more crazy and more hectic than it did back when I was there, which was back in the 90s. Cebu to Japan to New Jersey, never again. Oh, you went to Reagan International. Oh, okay. Huh. Yeah, I've never been to Reagan International. I've heard of it, but I've never been there. Scotty says, John, be careful of the scam at Manila Airport. What? Hold on. I can imagine this. I don't know about this scam, but I can imagine what it is, though. Yeah, they say you got something and they planted it, kind of thing. I haven't heard. I haven't. Yeah, I don't think I've heard of it, but I can imagine it. And I will say I've done 2 trips over here, back and forth. Let's see, hold on. No, I haven't gone back this time though. So I've done 1 trip back and forth, and then I did 1 coming here. Haven't been back. Anyway, I haven't had any problem, you know, in the airports. And I did the Cebu airport, and I've done the Manila airport. And I've also done some local flying too, which I hated to do, but I did it. One time. 1 or 2 times. I can't remember if it was 1 or 2 times. I think it was 1 time. Some, like going from one island to the other island, which is very easy to do. They got plenty of airports all around here. Andy on McTan says, I always enjoy the food on long haul. I remember back in 1982 flying Aeroflot, and we were served dark, dense rye bread, the worst bread in the world. And Scotty says, yeah, it does sound pretty bad. Dense rye bread. Dark. Probably very dry. Very, very dry bread. Scotty says, look it up. It's real. Oh, I believe you. I believe you. I haven't had to experience that, but I believe you. Ranford Guy says, and as a matter of fact, the airport situations that I've been in have been amazing. I'll go ahead and say that. I haven't had any issues, and they've been amazing. Quick, fast, simple. Ranford Guy says the time before was Air Canada, Dulles to Montreal, and then Japan, and then Cebu. Wow. You know, I would be interested if I did go back over to the U.S. I would like to fly to one country, stay there for a while. I don't know if this would be practical to do expense-wise and everything, but pick some country if I have to go back to the U.S. to, you know, for working. I would like to go to one country, stay for a while. I'd probably pick a country that I wouldn't have to spend much money, because Hawaii would be super expensive, even though I'd like to go there. And then after that, go over to the U.S. Scotty says, I got stopped once leaving cause my red horse tattoo. They couldn't believe an American had it. Oh, well, that makes sense. I got stopped in a U.S. airport because I was trying to bring a drink. Hold on, let me remember this correctly. Oh, actually, no. Was this U.S. or might have been here? I can't remember if it was here or U.S. I think it was here. But anyway, I went and bought a bottle of alcohol that was too big, and they took it away from me. And they get to keep it. I'm like, you guys just want some free drinks. And I think it was here now I remember. You know, it really was like, you know, they checked, see what you got, and they found it, and they confiscated it, you know. It didn't cost me much, though. It was like a bottle of gin, I believe, you know. Gin, everybody buys that really cheap over here. Brian says, I booked a round trip from DFW, okay, Dallas, Fort Worth to Cebu back in November. Cheap, but canceled for personal reasons. I'll book it again this year. When you canceled, did you lose all your money on that? Yeah, when I canceled, I mean, I had to fight to get some money, and they did give me some money, but I had to fight for it. If I wouldn't have fought for it, I wouldn't have got anything. Kerry says, in my opinion, Iran is not going to fold like they think. Yeah, that's what it looks like. No telling what's waiting under the soil. I think they are going to shock the world. Yeah. Anyway, maybe someone will comment about it. I don't want to get too sad and negative into things. If you know, sometimes I just have to watch my mouth. Oh, you got a full refund through Korean Airlines. Awesome. Yeah, mine was I think 40% or something like that I got back. But also maybe I waited too long to contact them. Radford Guy says the best part of Cebu Airport are the ladies in the native dress who are there to help you do your e-travel before customs. Oh yeah, that's nice, man. I don't remember it in Manila, I don't think, but I think I did see that over in Cebu. Now I think about it. It's been a while since I took that trip. That one I took about 3 years ago. I think I remember seeing that. I was so involved in not thinking too much about things back then. I was just like, I want to get my hotel room. That's a freaking long flight, man. Yeah, that's when I went to Singapore first and then came over. I would think Korean Airlines, I would think it would be pretty nice. You know, hospitality is a big thing in Asia. So, get rid of this stuff. Okay, so on our COVID vaccines thing here, we've got 80% say no, they're not mostly good. 20% say, yeah, they are mostly good. And since I'm on the no side, I'm glad to hear I have most people thinking like that. Let's see. Vibrational Light says, when I went to Philippines in 2019, they would start talking Filipino to me. And I would tell them I didn't understand, and my wife told them I was Puerto Rican, and they laughed. Yeah, you know, I'm going to tell you, one of the weird things over here is whenever I go out and I'm trying to talk to people to get something done, you know, I'm asking maybe questions of how to go somewhere, or I'm saying how much is something. They always want to look at my girlfriend and not answer me, but they want to give the answer to her. It's annoying. So there's a couple of things I do. Sometimes I'll say, she's Japanese, she don't understand. Yeah, like your story, you know. Yeah, I'll just say she don't understand. She's Japanese. Or I'll put my head in front of her face. Like, you have to talk to me, you know. It's annoying to me. Anyway, so we're gonna go to the market today and pick up some stuff. We're gonna make this thing called black pepper chicken. And I got some vegetables in it and some chicken in it. And I do have a recipe video for it on my channel. It's like the only recipe video I have. Except for, I think I collab with somebody, let them put a video on my channel too. I think they have some kind of fajita recipe that they put on there. So yeah, we're gonna make some black pepper chicken, go to the market and pick up all the chicken and vegetables that we need to. Yeah, it's a wet market, exactly. Yeah, so good prices at the wet market. We walk over to it. It's about a 10-minute walk from here. 10 or maybe 10 or 15-minute walk. Yeah. I think it's more like about 10 minutes. And what I've been doing lately is getting a better meal at lunchtime, and then at dinner time having a really cheap meal to sort of balance the whole financial thing out. Like last night I had some sycamas, those things I showed you all, the white things that are super cheap over here. And I had some bread. That's what I had for dinner last night. Sycamas and bread. But during the lunch, I had a big, what I consider a big meal. Went over to McDonald's. I spent about $4 on the meal. It was a double cheeseburger and chili. They have chili here that you can get with your food too. But the chili wasn't as good as Wendy's chili. And unfortunately, we don't have a Wendy's here because I love chili. I love the Wendy's chili. We don't have a Wendy's here in this area, but there's Wendy's in Manila, there's Wendy's in Batangas. There's a lot of Wendy's in the Philippines, but we just don't have Wendy's here. And I also got, with that meal, that $4 meal, French fries and a drink. So the double cheeseburger, French fries, drink, and chili. Vibrational Light says, do they have sidewalks where you live in the Philippines? Yeah, they do. They're not awesome sidewalks. They're not like wonderful sidewalks, but they're pretty decent. Here, I'll show you what we got. Yeah, they're decent sidewalks, but you know, it's not like if you go to BGC in the Philippines, they have some very, very nice sidewalks. And I think maybe some other areas do too. Shoot, turn the camera around. Hopefully, if you didn't see that, let me know. I'll do it again. No Taco Bell though? Yeah, we have Taco Bell. We do. We have it in the Philippines. I just don't have it close to me. I love Taco Bell, man. I love Mexican. Yeah, you have how many Taco Bells? got one, two, at least two, three, probably four. 3 or 4 in Manila. And as far as other areas, I don't remember seeing any. I think Cebu, I think they might have had a Taco Bell, I believe, but I'm not positive. Yeah, I think I remember seeing a Taco Bell in Cebu. And I wish they would put one in Baguio, because that's where I love to go, in the mountains of Baguio. They don't have one yet, but they'll probably get one soon. They have a lot of stuff there. Mall, they have a very, very nice mall in Baguio. And you could go to the very top of it, the rooftop, and you can look at the mountains up there from it. Let's see, seconded the wet market video. Oh yeah, I do have a wet market video, I think. Yeah, I think I have like a market video that shows a lot of vegetables. And then I think I have a really older one that will show more different things in it. Elo seems very clean, the sidewalks. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I was going to say, I think there is other places that have very nice sidewalks, like BGC does. And I think Elo is one of those places. I have not been there, but, people have talked about it. SM store near me? No, not in Mindoro. I don't know of any SM store here. If I want to go to SM, there's probably one in Batangas, which is on Luzon Island. Probably. I'm not sure if there is. There's one over there at BGC. There's up in Angeles City. They have a Bantanga. Not a Bantangas. An SM. But here on this island, I don't know of an SM here. I think basically a lot of the people are not rich enough to shop at SM, to be honest with you. So they go to wet markets here mainly, or Pure Gold. We do have Pure Gold grocery stores, which are nice grocery stores, but they're not big like a S&M SM store. I'm sorry. You said SM. I thought you said SNR. SM. No, but they do have malls. Yeah, they have malls here on the island, but I don't think it's SM Mall, but an SM store. Let's see. Andy says, when the Philippines reopened in 2022, the Filipino people stopped calling white foreigners Joe. As a Brit, it was great to be asked what country was I from. Taxi drivers still tried to rip me off. Well, I still hear Joe. Yeah, they still call me Joe. I don't hear it a lot. It's usually the older ones, though. Yeah, it's usually older ones that say that. And as a Brit, it was great to be asked what country was I from. Yeah, they're pretty used to having people from different countries over here now. Carrie says, people are nosy, including me. If you and Eve filmed your day-to-day lives, it would be a hit. Strap a camera on your head and take us along. Yeah, I did a video that showed how life would be over here as like a local lives it. That was pretty much just me though doing that. She did a little bit of the recording on it, and she was holding the camera, the phone basically. But yeah, that is actually something that I was planning on doing, Carrie, was showing how my real life is. And I'm actually thinking of starting a channel that is more involved with that.
my whole entire real life, all the way from the way I live to the business to other things I do. You know, when I say business, I'm talking about YouTube to everything, you know. Because here's the thing, I know a lot of the older people here think, you know, that, you know, we're like, somebody like me is like a nobody or whatever. I hear that quite often from older people. Like, oh, you think you're special, whatever. But here's the thing, a lot of these younger people, they need guidance, and they don't get guidance, man. They do not get guidance, a lot of the younger people. So they like to watch stuff like that. They like to learn from us. And this was actually an idea that I had a long time ago to try to get older people. I wanted to recruit older people to help these young people out. I wanted, you know, but I, you know, sounds weird though for me to say that and to think that, but they need help. I just got through watching in the news these 3 young boys that were about 13 years old that, I can't say the word, but, and beep a young, a female. You know, y'all might have saw it in the news too. And, you know, it was pretty drastic what they did. You know, I mean, it's crazy. It's no different than visiting Britain. Oh, I believe that. Just ride a trike up and down the road like Ace does. Oh, that's boring. That's, to me, I mean, no, I do stuff like Scotty, what you're talking about, as far as I like walk a lot. And in my lives and stuff, I do a lot of walking. The only thing is, we're not supposed to show people's faces now. They changed the law here where you can't just go out on the street and be showing people's faces, which I hate because I want to show everything, you know. But, you know, a lot of people that are being filmed, well, there's a lot of people who don't care, but then there's some people out here that do care. You know, most Filipinos don't care if you show their face. You know, and we can show faces as long as we get approval. I think there's a lot of vloggers that are breaking the law and getting away with it, basically. And yeah, it's not fair. The joke, yeah. I'm really not a big fan of that guy, and I'm gonna say I tried to befriend him and meet him when I was in Angeles, and he wasn't wanting to do it. You know, he was not wanting to talk to me, and he ghosted me. So, you know, I don't care about that dude at all. And do I have a little haste against him? I do, you know, because I wouldn't do that to another vlogger. If a vlogger came to me and they wanted to, you know, to be friends with me, I wouldn't do that to some vlogger, you know. So anyway, Carrie says no. I mean, strap up a camera and just go live. Yeah. You know what? I probably have to watch a video of somebody doing that to figure out if it's, I don't know. I have to watch it and see, because to me that seems a little bit weird, but put a camera on your body and just walk around and show things that I'm doing and stuff like that. To me, it would be boring. As a clown, he repeats all the same crap. I know exactly, bro. And he'll throw out like freaking 4 videos a day too, the same boring crap. I've tried to watch a little bit of his stuff, and I'm like, dude didn't even talk for like a minute. Walked around, didn't show anything really. You know, maybe he's trying to protect himself from the rule too that we have. But Yeah, I don't think you want to see every second of my life. I think it would be boring, but I think I try to show like most of the stuff that I do, stuff like that. Yeah, yeah. You know, or some days would be more boring than others, and some days will be more exciting than others. Yeah, but I'm gonna look into that, Carrie. I'm gonna try to, yeah, figure out something with that. A lot of people just like to watch. Yeah, I mean, I could probably, if I'm hanging out in a room, you know, I usually just hang out in my bedroom. You know, I mean, I only have one room that I stay in. I'm over here. This is not my place to use their Wi-Fi. But if I'm hanging out in that room, doing whatever I'm doing, I could probably just put the camera over to the side of the room, and then when I go out, bring the camera with me, that kind of thing. I don't know. I'll look at. Is there anybody you know? I don't know if you recommend anybody I could like study and see. I don't want it to be too boring. Basically, is what I'm trying to say. I need to figure out if it's going to be exciting enough to do. But yeah, I do want to do something like a day in the life video is what I was thinking. You know, like a normal day. I was planning on doing something like that. Yeah, a normal day in the life video. Not not a certain day, but just a normal day. Barbie Vlog says hi from the Philippines. What's up? How you doing, Barbie Vlog? Scotty says it's not your life. You show parts of the fields that others don't see. Well, I already do that when I go out and do. Actually, you're gonna have one soon. It's gonna be Calipine City that I went to. I brought the camera with me and I recorded different areas of that city and went around and showed some different places, went inside some different locations and so forth like that. So you're going to see that one soon. There's another one a long time ago I did of the town here where I went around and showed things. Back then, I think I was able to show people's faces, so you might see faces in that one. But I also did another one where I got up like super early and I went around the town even better and more, and I turned the camera around and showed the location. So I haven't posted that one yet either. So I do some of that stuff. I do a little bit of everything, man. Sometimes I'm talking. A lot of times lately I've been talking, and then some. If you go to my playlist, whatever you're looking for adventure, fun, go to that playlist. If you're looking for cost of living, go to that playlist. If you're looking for like beaches and mountains, you could go to those playlists and check out when I went on mountain trips, beach trips, stuff like that. I probably got like freaking 20 playlists of different things. Anyway. Country Kind of Crazy says, that's what we are doing right now. You're walking around talking and we are watching. Exactly. Yeah, I already do plenty of these lives. Let's see. Barbie Vlog says she's good. That's awesome. And Andy says, it was nice to join your live chat. Mike, it's getting close to 10. Yeah, I'm about to jump off here myself, bro. And have things to do. Nice to meet you and other friends in the chat. Bye for now. All right, thank you for coming in. Good to see you. I'm gonna jump off here too. I gotta go talk to my girlfriend, and we're gonna I know she's going to the market. I haven't decided if I wanted to go with her or not. I probably will because I feel like walking. But my live has issues with signal out here, so when I get back over to Manila, I could do more lives walking around different places. You know, I do it here too, but a lot of times I have problems with signal. Matter of fact, I got to add some data right now because I'm out of data. That's why I'm on Wi-Fi right now, though, so I don't worry about it when I'm on Wi-Fi. Let's see. Scotty says, go out to the beer house and show what that's like. Yeah, you're right, man. Yeah. Thank y'all for some advice for content. I will take note of what you guys said. And I mean, right now, I always keep like about 4 videos ahead that I'm planning on putting out. But yeah, I always love the advice. So I will. Country Kind of Crazy wants me to film the wet market. I've already got one of those out. I've already done one of those. Yeah, I did one of those videos already. And I did another market too. It was like a produce market. I mean, as far as long recorded videos, I've got probably about 200. So, yeah, should be already out there. I don't want to keep doing market videos over and over again. But I would definitely, if I could put it on live, be better. You know. Hey, anyway, I'm gonna jump off here, guys. Plus my battery's about dead now. Gotta put my phone on the charger and different crap. Yeah, but I also got a battery that's about dead. I got 10% on my battery. Film it all. Anyway. All right, guys, I'm gonna jump off here now, and I'll see what I can do about what you guys talked about. All right, but today I'm at 10%, and we're about to walk over to the market, so I don't think it's going to be today. They are interesting. I mean, it would be more interesting if I could put the people on. It would be a lot more interesting because when I go to the market, I tend to talk to a lot of people, and if I could show their faces, you know, and everything, you know, or not even the people I don't talk to, you know, that would be more interesting. I wish they didn't change the privacy rule here. You know, it really sucks. Anyway, I will see you guys later. Thank y'all for coming in. I appreciate your support and everything. Y'all take care. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Peace out.